My name is Millie. Today, I want to tell you a story. It is not an easy story. It is a story full of pain, mistakes, and lessons. But it is also a story about hope and kindness. Please listen carefully. I grew up in a small village, far from the city. The village was quiet. The mornings were full of birds singing. The evenings were calm, with the sky orange and pink. I lived with my mother, my little brother Liam, and our dog Max. My father left when I was very small. I do not remember him. I only remember the empty space he left behind. My mother worked in a bakery. She woke up very early and came home late at night. Her hands smelled of bread and flour. Her eyes were often tired, but she smiled at us every day. She said, "We are together. That is enough." Liam was only 8 years old. He loved playing outside. He loved Max, our dog, more than anything. But he was afraid of many things. He was afraid of the dark, afraid of storms, afraid of being alone. I was 16. I thought I had to be strong. I thought I had to be brave. I wanted to protect my family. School was my escape. I loved reading and writing. I loved learning new words in English. My teacher once said, "Millie, your heart is strong, even if your life is not easy." At that time, I did not fully understand her words. Then one rainy afternoon, everything changed. I came home from school. The house was silent. My mother was sitting in the kitchen. Her hands were shaking. Her face was pale. She told me she was very sick. Her words felt like ice in my chest. The doctor said she needed rest and medicine. She could not work for a long time. I felt fear. I felt my heart break. I looked at Liam. He was sitting on the floor, hugging Max. His eyes were wide with fear. Without my mother's work, we had no money. No money for food. No money for medicine. No money for rent. That night, I could not sleep. I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. I cried silently. I was 16, but I felt like an old woman. The next morning, I started working. I cleaned houses, washed dishes, carried heavy bags. I did everything I could find. My hands hurt. My back hurt. I was always tired. Liam stayed at home to take care of my mother. He cooked small meals, cleaned the house, and fed Max. He was only 8. I felt guilty every day. Some people were kind. Some people were cruel. One man shouted at me for cleaning slowly. One woman refused to pay me. She closed the door and did not say a word. Those moments hurt, but I could not stop. One evening, after working late, I walked home in the rain. The rain was cold and heavy. My shoes were broken. My clothes were wet. I saw a girl near the street. She was crying. Her small hands held a broken doll. People walked past her. No one helped. I wanted to walk away. I was tired. I was wet. I was cold. But something inside me said, "Stop." I went to her. I asked, "Are you okay?" She looked at me. Her eyes were red. She said she was lost. She did not know where her mother was. Her name was Millie Bobby, too. I stayed with her. I gave her my jacket. I held her hand. I talked to her softly. After a while, her mother arrived. She was crying and ran to hug her daughter. She thanked me again and again. That night, I thought a lot. I thought about how easy it is to ignore someone. I thought about how important it is to stop. Life continued to be hard. My mother became a little better, but she still could not work. We were late with the rent. Our landlord came to our house. He said we had to leave. I felt my heart break again. Liam cried that night. He said, "Millie, will we be okay?" I did not know, but I said, "Yes, we will be okay." The next day, something unexpected happened. A woman came to our house. She was someone whose house I had cleaned before. Her name was Mrs. Emily. She saw my tired eyes and broken shoes. She brought food for us. She helped pay part of the rent. She helped my mother find free medical care. I could not speak. I cried in her arms. Mrs. Emily said, "Many years ago, someone helped me. Now it is my turn to help you." From that day, life slowly changed. Other people helped us too, not because we asked, but because kindness spreads. My mother became stronger. Liam smiled more. I returned to school. I studied hard. I wanted to give back one day. One winter, I saw a man sitting on the street. He had no shoes. His clothes were dirty. He was cold. I could have walked past. I could have ignored him. But I remembered Millie Bobby, the little girl I helped. I remembered my mother's eyes. I remembered Mrs. Emily. I stopped. I gave the man my old coat. I shared my food. I spoke to him softly. He smiled. His smile was small, but it warmed my heart. That night, I learned something very important. Kindness is not easy. Kindness is not always comfortable. Kindness is a choice. Sometimes, kindness means stopping when you're tired. Sometimes, kindness means sharing what little you have. Sometimes, kindness changes everything. Years passed. I grew older. I went to college. I became a helper at a community center. I helped children with homework. I listened to people when they were sad. Sometimes I see tired eyes. Sometimes I see fear, and I remember my past. I always stop. I always listen. I always try to help, because I learned something important. Pain can teach lessons. Struggle can teach strength. Kindness can change a life. If your life is hard, remember this. You matter. Your kindness matters. Even a small, kind action can change the world. This is my story. A story of pain, struggle, hope, and kindness. A story that made me who I am today. Thank you for listening.